Ben Wise and ZOAR Fitness, and this is the name game. So we're at workout number 8. It is Deadpool. So from 0 to 8 minutes, we have an AMRAP. It is a 12 length shuttle run. So there are 25-foot sections. 8 snatches at 115.85 and 4 ring muscle ups. From 8 to 14 minutes, so immediately into this, is going to be a 1 rep max snatch. And then your score of this is going to be part 1, number of reps that you complete. So 24 reps per round times however many rounds you get through plus whatever reps. And then your part 2 is going to be the number of kilos that you lift. So if you're lifting in pounds, then you have to convert it to kilos. So divide by 2.205 and you'll get kilos. And then you add those two together. So say you did 3 rounds and 3 reps, that would be 75, I believe, reps. And then you would add 100 kilos to that. So it'd be 175 points for this workout. So your score would be 175. Yeah, so we got a lot of different stuff going on here. Let's talk about standards first of all. The shuttle run, the biggest thing with the shuttle run is that you're gonna have a 25 foot section, and it only counts for the rep if you touch past the line. So this is both the standard and also like at the end of the workout, if you end on the shuttle run, it only counts for a rep if you cross the line and touch the ground. At that point is when it counts as the rep. And there's no middle points between that. So each length is its own rep. Again, it is 12 total lengths, which would be 300 feet. And besides that, I mean, that's really the only standards that you have to touch beyond the line. Move yourself, however you want to do it, walk, run, doesn't matter, touch the other line. Then 8 snatches, pretty simple, ground to overhead, everything's gonna be stacked and locked out when you're overhead. And then the ring muscle ups, hang to lock out of the rings, and you have to pass through the dip transition. Most people aren't doing a rising ring muscle up anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But the one thing I do want people to think about when they're doing a ring muscle up is that it has to be, you have to press out over top of the rings. You can't push back away from the rings as you're going up. And then lastly is the snatch, and you can do any style of snatch to get the bar overhead that you want for that 1 rep max. So it could be squat, power, split, whatever you want. As long as it's one motion from ground to overhead, you're good. I would, last thing is that you have to use the same bar for parts 1 and part 2. So when you go from the 115, 85 pounds, and you want to go to the next bar, you can't have that bar loaded up with the first attempt that you want to make. You have to either throw plates on or take it off, strip it off, and then load back up, or however you want to go back. But in other words, kind of know your jump. So if it's like a 35-pound plate to make 115 on the bar, then you can decide if you want to throw 25s on or whatever. Like figure out the weights and know them ahead of time. So that way you can just throw the weight on instead of having to pull off the 35s and put on 45s or whatever. It's totally up to you how you do it, but that's how I would do it so that I have the most time to lift and I don't have to spend most of my time transitioning and bent over trying to pull plates on or off the bar. It's a pain. So have sort of a game plan for like a best case scenario if you feel pretty good. And it's like, your breathing's a little jacked up, but you're recovering by the end where you can hit pretty solid numbers, like upwards of 95% of your max. Typically, really good athletes, like CrossFit Games athletes, are going to hit really high percentages of what they're capable of, like their very best lifts. They'll probably hit, on average, 94% in a max lift scenario like this. So to put some perspective, anything above 90% is pretty good. Besides that, the biggest thing I would think about is, you're going to be probably someone who's more catering based on your body type and your weight to your shuttle run and ring muscle up abilities versus your snatch abilities. So those are the two things you got to think about balancing. So if you're someone who is pretty proficient at doing muscle ups, then maybe you can actually run at a little bit harder of a pace relative to your capacity. And then maybe you do singles on the snatch. Or if you're someone who is maybe, not super efficient at ring muscle ups, but you're very powerful and you want a longer break after your barbell so that you can recover your breathing a little bit more, maybe you do them touch and go. It's a way to just balance those two things. So yeah, just thinking about singles, what your run pace is going to be, and balancing those different factors into your individualized pace for this. Lastly, warm-ups are in the comments below. And if you're someone just following along on YouTube, for everybody else, they're either on the website or in your spreadsheet. And let me know if you got questions. If you're someone who's not subscribed to the protocol, you can get a 7-day free trial by going to zoarfitness.com/theprotocol. So head over there now. Let me know if you got any questions, and best of luck on Deadpool.